Coming up on PAC News, Loyola students are on week 3 without hot water.
The Trump administration is upping their deportation measures, and it even has some U.S. citizens afraid.
Trump's 2 gender-only executive order is taking effect. Listen to stories of people who are getting the wrong gender on their passports.
I know that I'm non-binary, but now anytime I give it to a random stranger government worker, they're gonna get to know my business.
All of that and more coming up on PAC News. Hello, and welcome back to PAC News. I'm Violet Bucaro.
And I'm Emma Eisman. It's been almost a month since Loyola students living on campus have had consistent hot water.
Since then, students in search of hot water showers have been trekking from other universities to a bank of portable showers brought to the campus. That's where Abigail Schmidt joins us with the latest.
Hey, Wolfpack. After weeks of busing students from here to Xavier and Tulane, Loyola has set up temporary showers here in the North Road parking lot, which are currently being refilled and get cleaned every 2 hours. These were set up after the replacement boiler failed, and students are currently walking in this balmy 62-degree weather for their showers, which do have heaters and speakers. Chloe Witt has the story.
Since February 26th, Loyola students have only had hot water for 4 days. After a boiler ruptured, a temporary boiler was brought in on March 9th, but it was damaged by a storm.
To accommodate for the issues, Loyola put portable showers in the parking lot, but these weren't available over Mardi Gras break, where students felt it was more necessary to have a shower.
Junior Aries Sussman ended up leaving New Orleans for Mardi Gras because of this inconvenience.
Have a building full of really young adults all sweating and disgusting after Mardi Gras, it just kind of makes my skin crawl, and it's a situation I really didn't want to be in.
Loyola's Director of Facilities, Kyle Gregor, said the boiler was over 20 years old, and the university has been aware of it needing attention. But the facilities team failed to do so before now. And because of the boiler's age, replacement parts have to be specially ordered, so it won't become available for 8 to 10 weeks. The university says a temporary boiler should be in place this weekend. But some students are asking the university about housing refunds. The university responded on their website, quote, "We are doing everything we can to care for our students, who are our foremost concern and priority. As we assess and evaluate impacts of this unprecedented outage, we will provide additional details as they become available." And with an over $2,000 increase in tuition already set for next year, some students are angry with the university.
If they are going to raise our tuition, I wish we would see that go into the kind of accommodations we have and into our facilities, because when you raise our tuition, water breaks, and then you've got a brand new chapel and a brand new dorm. What am I supposed to do with what I see?
And for some students looking to live on campus next year, they've decided it isn't worth it.
I love the on-campus experience and everything, but it just doesn't make sense for me personally with just all the issues that have been happening and how long it seems to take them to, fix everything.
From PAC News, I'm Chloe Witt.
While this isn't the first time this has happened on campus, it is the longest time. And students have definitely been aware of it, but the university didn't send out a statement until yesterday, where President Cole informed them of the temporary showers and the road closures. For Wolfpack News, I'm Abigail Schmidt.
Could you imagine going that long without hot water, especially during parade season?
I know, I'm praying that temporary boiler is actually going to work this time.
In state news, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is defending Tuesday's execution of convicted killer Jesse Hoffman, saying that the state will always prioritize victims over criminals. The state continued with Hoffman's execution despite pleas from his and his victim's family. Local and national anti-death penalty activists held rallies and protested against the state. I had the opportunity to attend one of the final rallies on Sunday. I'm here outside the Louisiana governor's mansion in Baton Rouge, where Louisiana residents are protesting against the execution of Jesse Hoffman, who is set to be executed on Tuesday with lethal nitrogen gas. On March 16th, members of the anti-death penalty rally joined together to condemn the killing of Jesse Hoffman, a man on death row. Many protesters were members of the Catholic Church, including renowned anti-death penalty activist Sister Helen Prejean.
Catholics say they're pro-life, but what they mean by pro-life is pro-innocent life. And when you walk in with a human being to execution, they're rendered completely defenseless, and we deliberately kill them. Where's the dignity?
In an email earlier this week, Jesuit University Loyola New Orleans called on their students to attend the protest, and Catholic student August Bay says they went to uphold their religious values.
Honestly, my whole life I've been anti-death penalty, and it is because of whether it be my academic or social education within my family is to respect all lives, no matter the cost. We're all God's creatures in a way, and we have no right to play God.
University Minister Lindy Brasher, who led the rally's opening prayer, says she always urges students to attend social justice events.
And I think that's something that's very valuable today for young people, especially students, to realize that we are called to community and to stand up against acts of injustice. It takes community. So I encourage any rally.
Cecilia Koppel was one of Hoffman's attorneys and director of social justice at Loyola. She called the execution a senseless act and said Jesse no longer bore any resemblance to the 18-year-old who killed Molly Elliott.
Columbia University graduate student Mohammed Khalil remains detained in Louisiana, and his legal battle continues. A federal judge ruled that his case should be heard in New Jersey, where he was first detained, rejecting efforts to dismiss his legal challenge. Khalil is a U.S. citizen, but is at risk of deportation and loss of citizenship. Similarly, many Hispanic citizens are facing legal challenges and fears from ICE deportations. New immigration policy changes made by the Trump administration has increased the amount of people detained by ICE. These changes made by some American citizens with immigrant families are fearing for their safety. One local Mexican American talked about her fear and what steps she has taken in case she is detained.
I came to the conclusion that it really just doesn't matter if you were born here or not anymore, and if you don't look white, if you don't speak only English, then you're kind of and I made a list of people to contact in the case that I were to be deported or whatever, like literally anything, and I brought it to my manager and I was like, it might be irrational, but it's currently like a fear of mine, and like no one would know if if they got me at work. Like no one, my roommates wouldn't know, and probably until like a day later, and like my family wouldn't know. So I was like, if something were to happen, and I hope nothing happens, like I need you to call these people.
And just this morning, Loyola President Xavier Cole sent an email addressing the university's position in light of the evolving immigration policies. The email stated that a task force has been formed to review policies, gather resources, and assess potential impacts.
The university follows legal protections, including FERPA, which restricts the release of student and employee personal information without a court order. If a student or faculty member is approached by law enforcement, including ICE, they should contact Loyola University Police Department immediately. LUPD can be reached at 504-865-3434 or via the Loino Alert Safety app.
Amid the flurry of executive orders President Trump has signed, a number of them have taken aim at the transgender and non-binary communities. PAC News reporter Maria DeFelice says one of those executive orders impacts travel, and trans people say it strikes at the very heart of their identity.
They signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
This executive order now makes it harder for transgender and non-binary Americans who want a passport with the correct gender marker.
It really is just kind of scary and concerning how quickly it happened.
24-year-old Hannah Renton tried to get their passport with the X gender marker a day after President Trump took office.
I did decide to change the, gender marker on my passport to X because, that is what I am. And I was like, maybe I can slip it in through the cracks. A week later, I got an email that said basically that it was stuck in processing without a real explanation.
Now, Renton has an expired passport and no clear timeline for when a new one will arrive.
It's a little concerning knowing oh great, now I just don't have a passport for just wanting to travel, or you never know, something could happen and I need to leave the country, and right now I couldn't really do that.
22-year-old Grayson Gustin says they had the choice of the X gender marker last year, but in the end chose not to select it due to safety concerns.
In fine print, right at the bottom, was saying that the X gender would not always be seen by other countries. Therefore, I would not be able to get into or leave.
For both Renton and Gustin, having their gender assigned at birth on legal documents is not ideal.
I know that I'm non-binary, but now anytime I give it to a random stranger government worker, they're gonna get to know my business.
The whole time, obviously, getting into Italy was just every time I would use my passport, which was over 12 hours long, I was just kind of reminded of that situation, which kind of further made me feel like my gender wasn't valid.
The X gender marker was put in place by the Biden administration to make non-binary and trans individuals feel more accepted. Hannah and Grayson are just two of 1.6 million transgender Americans who could face obstacles with the legal documents.
Today, President Trump signed an executive order to shut down the Department of Education. He says the department is wasteful and polluted with liberal ideology. The order would direct DOE Secretary Linda McMahon to take any steps necessary to give all educational power back to the states. This is unlikely to pass through Congress. This is an ongoing story. Follow PAC News for more updates.
God, can you remember when COVID took over the world? I mean, it feels like yesterday.
I know. I cannot believe it was 5 whole years ago. That's crazy.
Reporter Melody Newsom takes a look back at what COVID was like at Loyola.
COVID-19 stopped the world in its tracks with its deadly spread of viruses just 5 years ago. COVID caused almost everything to come to a halt. Loyola students reminisce on what things were like when they first entered the school.
When I first got to Loyola, there was a lot of differences because of COVID. My professors weren't counting attendance. Everybody was still social distancing, in the hallway, in school, in the OR.
People who worked in healthcare were severely affected by COVID-19. It was a time where most people were at risk for their lives. Upcoming Loyola student at the time, Lexi, shares just how COVID shaped her view of becoming a nurse.
Nurses are your front runners. They deal with a lot more patient care, so there are a lot more risks, which made me a little bit hesitant to come and kind of be a nurse, but nevertheless, I'm still here.
With COVID restrictions now lifted, Lexi is now able to work alongside others.
COVID has kind of changed our education of rotations, stuff like that, where we can come into the sim lab, this is our sim lab, we can be with our groups. We have about 3 groups of 7, so we can all work really closely with our mannequins, and then when we get to the hospital, we can work with patients, have more patient-centered care, more individualized care, and more up close.
This has been Melody Newsom with Wolfpack News.
Thanks, Melody. I am so glad the pandemic is over. Oh my gosh.
I know, me too. I am not, masks were not my thing, weren't fashion for me, and I'm so glad that that period's done. Yeah.
I know, yeah. But COVID isn't the only thing that's been changing classrooms in the last few years. Artificial intelligence has taken off in college education. AI has become a tool for students, but how much is too much? Loyola student Camila Capriles shares her perspective on using AI.
AI is definitely changing the way we work and study. It helps with brainstorming, research, and even making things more efficient. But at the end of the day, it's all about using it as a tool and not letting it replace real creativity and effort.
Coming up, women-owned small businesses take a new venture, and glass recycling efforts focus on making Mardi Gras more sustainable.
Also, a look at a parade that you might want to add to your weekend activities. Stay tuned.
My name is Tiffany Lewis. I'm the Development Director for the Louisiana Fair Housing Action Center. The Donnelly Center provided a video. The process was amazing. My expectations were exceeded, and the product is beautiful. We are a civil rights organization founded in 1995, originally serving the greater New Orleans area, but now we serve the entire state of Louisiana. This is an amazing opportunity that we have in our community to work with young professionals who want to get better at their craft and who also want to give back to organizations serving the community.
Welcome back and happy Women's History Month.
Last week, a mythical happy hour open house took place to highlight female-owned small businesses. Reporter Hannah Darcy gives us a look at the event and the impacts the community has on small businesses.
It's Women's History Month, and I'm here in Harahan, Louisiana, where 3 small female-owned and locally owned businesses are here showcasing all that they have to offer.
Susan Lee, owner of Life on Its Side Studios, is the organizer of the first monthly open house for these 3 small businesses.
So it's myself with Life on Its Side Studios, which is an art studio, both for classes, and then I'm a fine art painter. And then we have Swoon and Bee, which is botanical bath and body products, and Mad Darling, which is hand-poured soy candles. So we're hoping to do this monthly and have people come in and just find out about us. What I really want to do here is build community. And when you shop at a small business, you get to know your neighbors, you get to know the people in the neighborhood, you get to know the people who are doing business around you, and then we can cater the business a little more to the neighborhood. So many bigger companies have eaten and eaten and eaten smaller companies. So it's hard to find mom and pop things anymore. So the more we can support local businesses, the more we can kind of balance the craziness that's going on. So you come and you pay for one of my art classes, you help me buy groceries. Whereas if you pay for something from Amazon, you're helping them buy a yacht.
Casey Cole read tarot at the event and explains the importance of giving back to your community as a small business owner.
Oh, it's so important. You're giving back to your community, you're uplifting and supporting your fellow women, which I think is so empowering. I love seeing other small businesses succeed. I love just the creativity and the magic of allowing someone to really express themselves and make a living doing it.
Through her business, Lee hopes to inspire people to tap into their creativity.
We made a bunch of little gnomes today with air dry clay, and it's just fun. We forget how to have fun as we grow up. So I want you to walk away from any of my classes going, God, I really enjoyed that. Wow, I had a lot of fun. And I learned something.
This has been Hannah Darcy reporting, Wolfpack News.
This event was one of the first of what they will hope will be a monthly occurrence. For more information, you can follow along with all 3 small businesses through each of their Facebook pages.
There's no doubt that Mardi Gras generates a ton of waste to the city, but what happens to all that trash? Reporter Marcela Baez shows this new initiative that makes carnival season more sustainable.
Mardi Gras is over, but the cleanup isn't. Thanks to Glass Half Full with their initiative, Mardi Gras Bar Wars, they were able to recycle tons of glass instead of wasting them.
Mardi Gras generates around 2.5 million pounds of trash every year in just 11 days of parading. But a new initiative is working to reduce that number by encouraging bars and local communities to recycle more.
The idea for Bar Wars came about as a way to
get both people, like patrons and bars, involved in sustainability. I called it Bar Wars to make it like a friendly competition. And I loved the idea, so I took it to the Recycle That team, which is focused on Mardi Gras sustainability, and pitched it as like a Mardi Gras version of Bar Wars. And that's kind of how this all came about.
The goal of Mardi Bar Wars was simple: collect and recycle as much glass as possible. And in its first year, it proved to be a massive success.
We recycled over 41,000 pounds of glass in just a few weeks. Like, it was only a little over a month during that Mardi Gras period, and so I think it was a huge success.
All that recycled glass goes to Glass Half Full, a local facility that transforms it into sand.
So all of the glass from Bar Wars comes to our facility at Glass Half Full. We process the glass into sand and cullet, and the sand is used for coastal restoration, and the cullet is the raw material used to make new bottles.
And this year's recycling efforts made a bigger impact than previous years.
So we increased the amount of waste that we recycled this year by a huge amount. This year we did like 73,000, so we almost doubled our impact this year.
With initiatives like this, Mardi Gras can become more sustainable. This is Marcela Baez from PAC News.
Thanks, Marcella. It's amazing to see ways that Carnival is becoming sustainable and what I can do with those empty glass bottles.
Oh, sorry, I'm still adjusting to that hour of sleep I lost this week. Even though I'm still adjusting to it, some businesses are benefiting from the change. Reporter Alana Thompson has the story.
As we spring forward, people are outside taking advantage of the extra daylight, and they're not the only ones. Many uptown businesses see increased foot traffic during daylight savings time, with more customers being outside. The Rum House on Magazine benefits from the time change. Marketing manager Axel Rosa says the time change is a significant factor for the increase in customers.
Definitely most see a significant amount of traffic during a daylight savings time when the sun comes back. When the sun goes down, we definitely notice people won't come to happy hour as much.
With more customers dining out, Rosa says there is a boost in sales.
Definitely see an increase, not just in foot traffic, but also sales. We do get a lot more requests, and we'll go on the wait because people want to sit outside.
Like the Rum House, Flirty Girl Boutique sees more business with the longer days. Employee Paige Stapp says the extra hour encourages customers to shop later in the day.
I do find that there's more foot traffic more in the evenings. I think people are just a little bit more excited that there's an extra hour in the day, and they're more motivated after work to, instead of just driving home in the dark, they're like, oh, there's light, let's go enjoy life.
With longer days and more sunlight, people look forward to spending time outdoors. Jamie Hibbins says the time change makes her feel like she has a lot of time in her day.
And I think it's a lot harder to want to go out when it's dark and you get home and make dinner, and it really feels like it's quite late by the time you head out. So daylight savings time makes it feel like there's an infinite amount of time to go out and actually enjoy the world.
We can look forward to this extra sunlight going into the spring and summertime. Reporting from Uptown, Alana Thompson, Wolfpack News.
Thanks, Alana. Even though I'm still adjusting, I am looking forward to the longer days.
A Loyola student favorite music venue, Gasa Gasa, reopened on March 7th after a 1.5-year-long closure. I got to talk to some of the new owners and some local bands to find out what's new this time around.
Gasa Gasa is back open on Barrett Street. One of the first shows at the club was on March 15th. Micah Burns opened the club in 2013, sold it in 2020, and is now returning as the owner. One change this time around, music lovers can get in and perform at age 18.
It's important to me that young people have a place to go to see art and to play art. The college is right down the street, it wouldn't make any sense to isolate those folks. So I'm happy that it's back to 18 plus. I think the bands are gonna be happy.
20-year-old Emma Lincoln, a Loyola music industry junior, has a Gasa Gasa gig this week with her band Across Phoenix, and said it's a great place for her to play.
I think it's actually one of the most amazing things to happen, because literally every venue in New Orleans is 21 plus, and most of the industry kids that are trying to like get into the scene can't even play the shows if they're not 21. A walking distance venue is going to be 18 plus is so big.
Burns said many physical changes have been made, including putting a bar in the back, redoing the patio, adding a bathroom, and enhancing the sound system. And he's made some management changes as well.
A lot of the people who I'm bringing in have a lot of experience working with me and with the space. And also a lot of them are in the music scene in one way or another, so they can bring bands to the table, have other skills sets that make this place operate well.
Playing with Across Phoenix at Gasa Gasa is Loyola band Swinging Astrid, and says they are excited to see the new Gasa.
And I was really sad when it closed because I had only had positive experiences there. So I'm like really looking forward to see what they did with the space and to be back there with this band in particular.
I've missed the community. Like I really miss just interacting with artists. I love music and I love musicians.
Burns told us that more partnerships with Loyola are coming. Keep a lookout for more Gasa Gasa news coming your way.
Gasa Gasa's reopening isn't the only big news for Loyola. Alumni Tom Yamas will be taking over as the NBC Nightly News anchor. Yamas graduated from Loyola in 2001 and was inducted into the College of Music and Media's Den of Distinction for Notable Alumni in 2015. Yamas will take over from Lester Holt sometime this summer and will be the first Latino journalist to anchor the weeknight program. It's exciting to see someone from Loyola, from our program, just complete such a big milestone.
I know, it makes me so proud to be part of the Wolf Pack.
Coming up, we'll take a look at upcoming parades. And spring has officially started. We got some snowball stands that are perfect for this warm weather.
This is where your story continues. Stretch the limits of your imagination. Create the world as you see it. One letter, one word, one pixel at a time. Move to the rhythm of your own story. Make something more. For him and her and them. For the world. Do what you love. Tell stories like never before in a space created just for you. Learn skills that never expire. Document moments, seconds, frames per second. Turn them into masterpieces. Creativity is more than a lifestyle. Make it a career. Tune into the sounds around you. Those notes, you were always meant to sing them. Creative boundaries, you were always meant to break them. Become the artist you are destined to be. This is a world stage, New Orleans, Loyola. We do things differently. Expand your mind with and for others. Make the next move forward. Continue your story in the College of Music and Media at Loyola University, New Orleans.
Welcome back. Violet, I know it just ended, but I'm already missing Mardi Gras.
Well, you should have gone to the parade in Metairie this weekend. The St. Argus Parade usually runs on Fat Tuesday, but because of severe weather, it was pushed back to Sunday. This lets some people who are already missing Mardi Gras one last parade to hold them off until next year.
It's very exciting to have a parade after Mardi Gras, especially because sometimes it can be a lot when the parades are so back to back that, you know, we get a little break, and so now we get to have like some floats again that aren't just like for St. Patrick's Day.
Too bad I missed that parade. Luckily, parade season isn't over just yet. The Irish Italian Parade rolls this Sunday in Metairie. Reporter Kaylee Barlow spoke to 2 Loyola students who are riding this year.
The Louisiana Irish Italian Parade has been bringing play and produce to the Metairie area for more than 40 years. For 2 Loyola students specifically, they're excited to keep up family traditions.
I have been doing the Irish Italian Parade. This is probably my 5th one, and I'm really excited. Usually I ride with my family. Now we're on a new float, but same thing.
and it's going to be so much fun.
Solano told me she couldn't wait to invite her girlfriend to join in on the activities.
I got involved through this lady right here, my lovely girlfriend. And her mom basically just asked me, like, let's ride together, let's do it. And I was like, okay, I've never ridden before, let's try it.
Even though they will be riding without Solano's family this year, they are still in the sidelines helping prepare for the parade.
I was thankful that they got all of my throws for me because I did not know what I was doing. You have to sign up for the produce early. And I was just like, okay, just give me whatever and I'll throw it.
With over 110 floats, you can catch the Irish Italian Parade this Sunday at noon in Metairie. Kaylee Barrio, Wolfpack News.
Emma, we should totally go to that parade.
We should, but the weather has to be good because I don't do rain and I don't do cold.
Well, luckily, Frankie Estevas has our weather forecast for the week.
Good afternoon, Loyola. Let's take a look at your weather forecast for these next few days. We've got some nice spring weather ahead, plus a big weekend for local events. Now for the rest of the day, we will see some sunny weather, but it's pretty cool for this time of year, with highs only reaching about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now for this evening, we expect clear skies, but temperatures will drop fast. Expect a low of 52 degrees overnight, so you might want to grab a jacket if you're heading out. Now for tomorrow, overall we're expecting a nice sunny day ahead with a few passing clouds. There's going to be highs near 67 degrees with a light breeze, but it will be cooling off at night with lows at around 49 degrees. Now this weekend it will be warming up nicely with temperatures sticking mostly in the 70s. We can expect some sunshine and warm temperatures, which is perfect for those weekend parades. Now for the rest of the week it is going to be kind of cloudy with some rain on Monday, but it will stay warm. Back to you, Emma and Violet.
Thanks, Frankie. Well, there you have it. We have to go to the parade this weekend.
Yep, oh for sure. But you know what we should also get? Snowballs. It's snowball season.
God, I have not had one of those in years. Do you know where we should go?
Well, definitely, but Pack News reporter Lawrence Graham went around to different snowball stands. So let's go check them out.
As the weather warms up in New Orleans, a sweet tradition returns, snowball season. And for many, it's more than just a treat. Plum Street Snowballs has been serving the city for 80 years, making it one of the longest running snowball stands in New Orleans.
We've got new cups, we've got pretty balloons, we've got banners, and we've got new t-shirts, and we're going to do something special down the road. We're just not sure of what day it is.
Across the whole New Orleans, snowball stands like this one create spaces for connection. From lifelong locals to first-time visitors, everyone has a favorite flavor and a story to tell.
Like all the flavors. We love coming here. It's just close to where we live. It's a fun time for him. We always meet people. There's always...
And it's not just Plum Street. Everyone's serving a delightful treat. Other stands across the city are opening their windows for the season, welcoming back eager customers ready for the first taste of the summer.
Especially in New Orleans, you know, snowballs is like beignets. It's a tradition. Gotta have it, especially in the summertime.
Whether it's nostalgia, tradition, or just the perfect way to cool down, one thing is certain: snowballs bring people together, one scoop at a time. For Wolfpack News, I'm Lawrence Graham.
Wow, those snowballs looked so good. I can't wait to get one this weekend.
Okay, me too. What is your favorite flavor?
I like half nectar cream, half ice cream. Divine.
Okay, I could be into that. We did ask community members what their favorite snowball flavors are, and here's what they had to say. That's our news for now. We're gonna go off and enjoy this first spring weekend.
Follow us on Instagram at LoynoPack News for more updates on what's going on. This has been Violet Bucaro
and Emma Eisman. Have a great day.